All right, microphone check 1, 2. Microphone check 1, 2. Let me make sure I'm good here. Give me a minute. Give me a minute to make sure everything is cool. Yeah, that's good. What, FaceTime? Whatever. Okay, standard definition. Yeah, that's good there. Let me check my audio. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, it's on Mac. Nope, didn't want that one. I want. Hold on 1 second. I gotta check. I gotta change mics, y'all. Give me a minute here. Oh man. Okay, that should do it. Okay, let me see it pop. It popped up. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about. Now I just gotta adjust my screen real quick. No. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So tonight is Jasmine part 2. I missed some videos last time and I wanted to get them in the mix. Hold on 1 second here. I want to make sure I have them. Hey, why don't I just play a little music to keep us going, while I look for some other stuff. Here we go. Oh, they made some changes. Okay, that's cool. Here we go. Enjoy the jam while I do some looking. Here we go.
When we gather in the name of good, not for glory nor for gain, but to mend what's torn, to ease the strain. The veil grows thin, the air turns still, and the ancestors come as they always will. They rise from root to lash and flame, calling softly each true name. Their joy hums low in the hush between, a rhythm mode, a flame unseen. We are the ones that dream the drum, the rising sun, the work begun with every step. The story grows, the river moves where the spirit goes. Ashe, ashe, we walk in light, led by love, upheld by right. Welcome home, the circles wide, the ancestors walk by our side. Welcome, beloved, you who move with sacred care, bearing dreams too bold to spare. You whose hearts refuse to close, who plant love even where nothing grows. Bring your stories bruised and bright, your hands that shape both bread and light. Bring your laughter deep and wide, the kind that shakes the grief aside. We are the ones that dream the drum, the rising sun, the work begun with every step. The story grows, the river moves where the spirit goes. Ashe, ashe, we walk in light, led by love, upheld by right. Welcome home, the circles wide, the ancestors walk by our side. This gathering is not by chance. It is a call, it is a dance. We are the echo, we are the flame, the whispered breath, the untold name. The circle opens wide and warm, a shield against the coming storm. Sit, speak, rise, begin again. With every act, the world can mend. We are the ones that dream the drum, the rising sun, the work begun with every step. The story grows, the river moves where the spirit goes. Ashe, ashe, we walk in light, led by love, upheld by right. Welcome home, the circles wide, the ancestors walk by our side.
That was a jam, y'all. Let me stop that right there. I think I found the beat I want. Let me make sure I put it where it needs to be. Okay, we're gonna start off with the Queen Maker. And right there, cool. Boom. Charleston White, he's gonna be on the Dusty, the Dusty series coming up. Hope everybody's doing good. What did I call the series? I mean, I think I call Lion Kings 2. That's what it is. Lion Kings 2. And of course, not King, sorry, Kang 2. And then definitely, I would very much say that Charleston fits right in. I wonder, what's funny to me? I think dudes really respect dudes who go to prison. I guess that's where it came from, like hip hop back in the day, where if they weren't really a real rapper or something unless they went to prison or something. Yeah, that's how it was back then. It was kind of like if you got to have that prison cred, you aren't hard enough or whatever. So yeah, that's how it went down. Yep. So anyway, let's break it down right now. This is Princella. I'm about to react to Princella versus Candice Owens. This is going to warm things up. Then after that, we're going to have, it's kind of like Candice Owens night. Let's see her get her lumps. Let's see her get her lumps. Here we go.
You love them, homie. You can't be honest with no woman you love. Because she can't handle the truth.
I saw situations that she was in that I felt very bad for. I was like, I would have never did it like that. We was all.
Just listen to this. Listen to this. Ladies, they're telling you exactly what they're worth. Because think about it. If these men are telling you that you can't handle the truth, then the truth can't be that good. And if the truth is not that good, then why would be with dude in the first place? Oops. They forgot about that. Yeah, they like to floss for failure. So let's keep it going. Here we go.
Always want honey. Damn. I will always be honest with a woman. Women don't want you to be honest.
Now she dating that bisexual artist from Europe.
Damn.
Women. So notice how he's saying women don't want you to be honest. But honestly, I mean, the bottom line is this is like if you're a male whore, but they don't want to hear what you have to say. They hope you're not, but you are. So we're talking about one guy who was in prison for what he's called deleting somebody, and another guy who's basically a sperm donor. And these guys are giving women advice. That's about as bad as it gets. That's pretty bad. Here we go.
Don't want you to be honest with them. That's
not true.
Lesson I've learned.
I don't have no lies to tell you. You're not going to be the only woman that I ever. That's it. It's illogical.
The truth is, ladies, you demand men to lie to you because you don't like the truth. See, according to my 41 Shades of Men, The Pursuit to Subdue and Use You, chapter 33, The Polyman, a quote by David Ogilvy, says, I never tell one client that I cannot attend his sales convention because I have a previous engagement with another client. Successful polygamy depends upon pretending to each spouse that she is the only pebble on your beach.
And that's all these men have to offer. Remember, this doesn't happen with all communities. The problem is that what's happening is that Black men with a certain mindset, red pill, they just cannot, they have damage. They have damage and they want to accept that damage. And that's why they can't be, that's why they can't be with just you. Because the thing is this is what keeps other races of men loyal is not necessarily the higher morals and stuff. It has nothing really to do with that. It just has to do with they just simply don't have or want time to just bounce around, on a pogo stick, trying to get with women. Their value, shout out to Angela Reddick and Betterment. Their value is based in sex, while other races of men, their values is in success. Big difference. Big difference. Let me say that one more time. A large part of our community, the black men in our community, they value sexual prowess more than they do being a successful person in society. Therefore, if that's the case, they're putting all of their, not all of their eggs, but the majority of their eggs in that basket. Because quite honestly, you cannot be the most famous male, H-O-R-E, yes, and I spell it on purpose. I spell it off on purpose in the United States, and then be the world, own an Amazon or something. It's just too much time. Being a CEO takes up so much time. It takes up so much time. It takes up so much mind space to be successful like that you cannot simply do both. Wait, you got to, now, number one, think about it. As a player or male, H-O-R-E, you have to think of a lie. You have to keep the lie going. Then you have to be able to spend time with that person. Then you have to have sex with the person. Then you worry about that you got them prego, and then the cycle starts again with the next woman. And then that problem, you see what I'm saying? That's like let's face it. Even if you don't care at all about these women, it still takes up at least 30 minutes of your day per played woman, an hour, more like an hour, because you got to call them up. You got to tell them some pickup artist bullshit. Then you got to, think of a place to take them. Then you got to think of a place. And if you're Diddy, you got to find where your drugs are. Hey, that's what it's going on. Anyway, you have to think of all these things. And all of those things, all that mental brain energy, all that so-called player energy, it's really building a black man energy. You're wasting your energy that you should be using to build yourself into a success. You're using that so you can bounce around on your D like a pogo stick and say, oh, yeah. Like, I literally listened to this dude on this other channel brag about how marriage sucked to him. But he loved being a male, H-O-R-E. He loved it. I kid you not. I'm not going to refer or anything like that because I'm not going to tattle. Well, nah, who cares? But anyway, I'm not going to say his name anyway. But the bottom line is this, is that if you guys want me to prove it to you, I know I can show you, ladies, exactly how these men think. And he's an older dude. He's probably around my age. So if he's reveling in being a pogo stick instead of being married and calling marriage a thing for simps, right? What does that tell you? For real. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. If there's no way you can win on being in a happy marriage with a man who is from a culture, and I don't mean just black, I mean from a culture of promiscuity. I have never heard of a man who unpromiscuous himself, who as soon as he got married, he was loyal to the hilt. And that's why you're hearing stuff like this. This is why you're hearing stuff like this. Well played, Queenmaker. Here we go.
Whatever you do, don't tell the truth. If you really love them, lie to them. You supposed to lie to a woman. You only be honest to the ones you don't love and don't like. But the rest of them, you learn to lie to them because you love them, homie. You can't be honest with no woman you love.
Do you hear how stupid he sounds? Number one, if you're sleeping around with other women, you might love what your wife is doing for you or your main squeeze is doing for you, but you don't love her because you don't hurt somebody you love. So they're telling you they have nothing to offer you. That's why it's really strange when I see these red pillars on here demanding fit, feminine, and friendly, and submissive on this crap, and they cannot even offer nearly that back in return. Could not even come close. Fetterman says, man don't not have sexual control of their behavior. They think that sexual dominance comes from their pee, rather than their brain. Bars. Exactly. And Angela says, that is one reason white men don't want black men working at their companies around their women. Bars. Yep. Bars. That's actually hella true. Here we go.
You can't handle the truth. I saw situations that she was in that I felt very bad for. I was like, I would have never did it like that. We was always 100. Damn. I will always be honest with a woman. Women don't want you to be honest. Now she dating that bisexual artist from Europe.
I bet I could look back on Mr. Babymaker's history here, Mr. Babymaker's history, and find that he lied to somebody. Oh, I bet it. Look. Let me bring up something real quick. Don't worry, we are definitely going to get to Jasmine, but I just want to warm things up real quick. Let me go here. Who is that dude? I can't believe I forgot his name. Let's see here. That's how little I think of him. There we go. I'll get to him later. Let's keep it going.
Very bad. I was like, I would have never did it like that. We was always 100. Damn. I will always be honest with a woman. Women don't want you to be honest. Now she did.
See, this is how male HOREs sound.
And that bisexual artist from Europe.
Damn. Women don't want you to be.
So women don't want you to be honest. That's what he's saying. So basically, ask yourself this: what if you're such a piece of crap that you will change a woman's mind? And I don't get it. I mean, women don't want you to be honest. Well, basically the bottom line is this, because they know they have to make a move away from you. Let's keep going.
Be honest with them. That's
not true.
Lesson I've learned.
A woman, he's telling a woman, women don't want you to be honest, right? Here's the effed up thing. A woman knows whether they want a man to be honest or not. The problem is that he's so caught up into, what's his name? It's been caught up in so many lies. Who's the singer he married? That he was acting like he was all into her and everything like that, and he ended up cheating on her. Come on, James. Let me see. Best singers of all times, because let's see what comes up. There it is. Mariah Carey's husband. He was married to Mariah Carey and F that up. But he wants to give you advice. He fumbled a big old ball and he wants to give you advice because he's living a lie. What he's saying is that these dudes are they're living a lie. Here we go.
Lesson I've learned. I don't have no lies to tell you. You're not going to be the only woman that I ever. That's it. It's illogical.
They're breaking it. Let me break it down. Let me pause it. Let me break it down. These men are this is probably the only time they're not lying is when they're online. But I guarantee you, if they meet somebody new, oh yeah, you're gonna be my number one, my only one. That's the first thing. That's the funny thing. Hey, I know. I've heard these dudes. You know, you're my only one. I'll be what? You know, they'd be one of my friends back in the day, right? They talk to and find a gorgeous woman. And I'm like, who? You have the one of your life. She likes you. You're into her. And next thing you know, he's cheating on her. And then after that shit, he's telling you, oh yeah, he's still trying to tell her you're the only one. If that was the case and they were keeping it 100 or keeping it real, then why do they always lie to their women even after cheating on them for the 12th time? Cyber Dreams in the house. Here we go.
Men to lie to you because you don't like the truth. See, according to my
and the truth is, it's like this. This is the truth. Cheaters are always cheaters. If it's I know that this should be easy to know, but if he cheated with you on somebody else, and then you guys are in a relationship, you're getting cheated on. Because the only thing he loves is what's between his legs. That's it. If they can't stop doing, you know, don't get me wrong, there's probably some options here and there of where he might not be cheating. I mean, maybe he was cheating or you're the one of his life and everything like that. Then maybe so. But I guarantee you, what's his name, who was married to Mariah Carey, right? I guarantee you, she just got tired of his cheating. She probably let him do it a couple times, but he couldn't. I guarantee you, he couldn't keep his semen to himself. Angela Reddick says TJ Holmes, black actor on ABC GMA3, was fired along with YT Anger, Amy Batch, right? He found to have slept with other staff and an intern. And the funny thing is this, Angela, he had it's kind of like I call it the Shannon Sharp mentality, the Shannon Sharp stigma. You have everything going for yourself. And you blew your career for some dollar sign. You blew your career for some dollar sign. Thank you, Betterment. Nick Cannon. That was he was married to Mariah Carey. Messed that up. Got babies everywhere. Then he wants to act like he's a scientist. And that's the funny thing. What I find is that male 304s always think they are the benchmark for knowing relationships. If you were to think about it, really they're not having relationships. They're having 304 ships. They're having horseships. I like that, horseships. Because they don't understand what a relationship really is. That's why when Dude was telling everybody how he got married and shit and how he didn't like it, he wasn't about a relationship. A marriage is a relationship. You're forced into a relationship. And he didn't like it. That's what he bothered him. That's why I don't see how he didn't see that. Dude as old as me. Sometimes you just never learn. Never, never. Sometimes you never learn. I sung that so off key. I don't know what to say. Anyway, let's see what else Crewmaker is going to say now.
41 Shades of Men, The Pursuit to Subdue and Use You. Chapter 33, The Polyman. A quote by David Ogilvy says, I never tell one client that I cannot attend his sales convention because I have a previous engagement with another client. Successful polygamy depends upon pretending to each spouse that she is the only pebble on your beach.
And the funny thing is this, these men are out here they're literally lying to your face. Okay? Nick is lying to your face. He did exactly what Princella is telling you men do right now. And now he's, oh yeah, women don't like it when you try to keep it real. I try to keep, that motherfucker didn't keep nothing real. He played the same game on all the women he made pregnant. I guarantee you. Here we go.
Ladies, because of your narcissism and competition amongst other women, you want to be told that the world revolves around you.
Now that I don't quite agree with. I don't think it has to do with narcissism. I think it has to do with how you were brought up. You were brought up in a world that was supposed to be one man for one woman, picket fence, 2 kids. That's what you were brought up in. That's what the mindset is. So I wouldn't call that narcissism right there. I would have to disagree with Princella on that point, because basically you have a right to dream of just having a man who just wants to, he doesn't want to put his D into anything that moves.
You want his eyes only on you. You want his genitals only with you. So because it ain't the man's nature, men lie to you and you beg them to lie to you.
Now,
because you can't handle.
Now, here's the thing. There are men out there that don't have to lie. Like I said again, they're the ones that are just simply too busy to F around and then find out in a divorce. There are men out there that it just doesn't make practical sense for them to cheat on you. It will take time to find them, but there are men out there that will do that. The problem is it's obviously less likely in our community, because our men, we are not totally on point when it comes to being successful. Being successful in other cultures is being successful, like owning a business, being a CEO, being in maybe higher upper management. They have these dreams. There are some men that will throw themselves out a window in a skyscraper because they weren't able to achieve what they feel they should have achieved. I'm sure you have heard of this. These are the men that lower level men, low vibrational men call simps. You want a simp. That's what you're looking for. Phoenix Soul in the house. Phoenix, you missed my singing. Thank God. You're right. Phoenix Soul in the house. But that's basically what's going on. Let me hurry up and get in here because we're supposed to be
handle
talking
the
about
truth. And not only do they think you can't handle the truth, this what else he say.
So in your experience, women who believe the lies, what do you say about them?
They live happily ever after.
Oh, goddamn. Okay.
Women who pretend to believe.
He's trying to tell women that women tried that. They believed the lies. They played that game. I guarantee you Hallie played the game. Kiki played the game. Tanea played the game. And it just didn't work out, because what happened is those dudes started, since they knew that they were playing the game and that like the woman wasn't, since their woman wasn't acting concerned about it or not, even though they were concerned, they started doing it more. These dudes can't stop. So even though they're letting you, they're thinking that you're just going to cheat a little, what happens? You got Tanea's. Tanea has, this is the funny part of it all. Tanea's body is world renowned by all races of men. World renowned, but her whore boyfriend, whatever, husband, horseband, couldn't keep his thing out of both men and women. So that's how bad it is. You have the baddest woman on earth and you can't keep from slinging your own thing. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I mean, y'all can get mad at me for saying it, but you got to understand, Tanae, it's bad. Kiki, and she got her shape back quick, is bad, okay? Even Hallie, even though they tried to body shame her, she's coming back bad, okay? So it just goes to show you all that crap that Kevin Samuel was saying about fit, feminine, friendly, and submit doesn't matter. What submissive means is that you submit to them cheating on you over and over again, not just once, not just twice. Let me get to the okay. We're gonna have a break in here. I've ranted long enough. Here we go. So we're gonna get right into the show.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hello, how are you? And it's a special day. It's a special Sunday. You know I don't do shows on Sunday.
Wait. Okay. Wait. Let me fast forward. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. So Candice Owens is taking on. She says she's taking on feminists. I can guarantee you not that a lot of these women that y'all could be calling feminists aren't. Here we go.
Want to stay at home when you pull them. They just want flexible working hours. And
Okay, I want to make sure. Did y'all hear that? Let me know if y'all heard that, because my system called itself changing a little bit, updating. So make sure the audio is good.
Audio's good. Sounds good. This young lady came out with fire because the breakdown is this, y'all. I'm sorry, there's nothing that's going to change it. But if you're, as soon as you are in a relationship with a black man, in most cases, because there are some black men, remember, simps are on a different beat. But if you're with a black man who is like in red pill mentality, or like, Nick Cannon, your life is in more danger than it was when you weren't. They give you the protector, provider, spiel, but you're really in more danger than you are safe, either directly or indirectly.
the sexual revolution.
Exactly. So this is the problem when you have a cookie cutter or you start arguing in your own head. You don't actually answer the question that they asked you. This is an easy question. This is an easy question to answer, or an easy point to debate. But you have to understand that you have to acknowledge what's true. What Candice is saying is true. However, this is one end of the extreme. The other end of the extreme is being locked in a house, right? Is being locked in a house, unable to have your rights. That is all.
Locked in a house with the monster, basically. Hold on one second. That's what she's saying. She's trying to be nice about it. I won't be nice about it. The problem is that there's too many men that are monsters. 50%. 50% in our community are monsters. That's the DV rate in our community. 50%. So with those numbers, with those numbers, it's scary because remember now 30%, and this was conceded by another person, 30% of black men have been in prison. And a multitude of those men, it was because of abusive nature, whether it was to another person, another man, or another woman, it was abusive nature. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to listen to this again. Here we go. What's this? She's talking all this shit about, oh yeah, you're supposed to, be naked, barefoot and pregnant and shit. And she's the man of her house. Candice is the man of her house. Her dude is in the background. Henry Mars is in the house. Her dude is in the background. She's taking the main stage. She tells other women, she's telling other women to do what her man is doing right now. Isn't that crazy? She wants to act like she's not a feminist. She is a feminist and a half. And that's the funny thing. That's why all of these red pill women in the manosphere, they're feminists too. They're telling men what to do. Their man submits to them and lets them do lets their woman do what they want to do, right? They're masculine. They're masculine. Okay? So it's funny how these women who control men in their channels or control men like Candice in her circles, right, are trying to tell other women to be barefoot and pregnant and be feminine, when really, if you were to isolate them and really, I'm truly try this, isolate their speech pattern, it's as masculine AF. It's as masculine AF. Listen to them. They do not sound like submissive women at all. They run their own game. They are their own boss. If their dude talked to them and said, if dude, her husband talked to her and said, hey, something, Candice, I really don't want you to do this anymore. Would you stop? Do you really think she would stop? For real? I mean, think about it. How about Danica Marie? Honey, I'm tired of you pimping you, of pimping you out on this things, putting you in tight clothes for all these men out here on your channel. Can you stop? You think she's going to stop? Do you really think she's going to stop? Now, she might say, look, if you don't want me to stop because there ain't going to be no money, then he might concede. Chantel Simone, if she had a dude, do you think she's just going to stop? She's been online longer than me. Have you ever seen her with a dude? I bet she, and I'm not saying that she hasn't had a man before, but if she did, I guarantee you he said, come on, you got to stop this shit, you're talking about my mom. He's probably saying some stuff like that. And she's like, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. I guarantee you that's what she said. That's why I hate these fake non-feminists acting like they're non-feminists when they're feminists as Now, I'm a feminist, but I hate when people tell you there's something they're not. That's what bothers me. And that's why I cannot stand when Candice does this crap. Oh, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist. You feminist, blah, 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 blah. And turns back to her husband and goes, nigga, get in the bag. You see what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Here we go.
Sexual revolution.
First of all, A feminist is supposed to be like sexual revolution and all that kind of stuff, as she was saying. But I guarantee you not. All of those women in that room, if they found the right man, they have no problem getting married. Okay? They have no problem treating their man good. The problem is they have a problem with being treated like shit. And for that, these weirdos call those kind of women feminists, for having their own life, for not wanting to be treated like shit, and for having a say in the relationship. They want to make women that there's a group called Slave back in the day. They made some jams. Here we go.
Revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy.
Oh, you want to see, the thing is that that's not even true. Because the thing is this, if women were so happy back in the day, then why did they want feminism in the first place? They'd be perfectly happy. Oh, what woman's going to say, oh, life is good, and I love my husband and shit, and she's saying all this stuff. Oh, yeah, but I want to be a feminist now. Whatever she means is a feminist. Feminist, again, it's just being treated well. And what feminism brought out is that women weren't being treated well. That's what it brought out. It brought out the color purple. That's what it brought. What in the hell? How does that have to do with the sexual revolution? See, Candice thinks that women walk around promiscuous. I don't know why she thinks that way. This young lady asked a perfectly good question, is, if women were so happy back in the day, why were they getting hands and feet put on them? And then Candice got into this. Candice, you can see that she had to look up to try to think of some way to get out of it. So now she's trying to get out of it by acting like that has nothing to do with the sexual revolution, where it has everything to do with it.
Revolution.
Right, the sexual revolution.
The first claim.
The sexual revolution gave.
I'm happy to answer it. I'm just saying that, if you brought in that.
No, why don't you just answer it then? Why don't you just answer it? Just say this does. You can preface it with saying, well, this doesn't seem like I don't think it's directly has to do with the sexual revolution, and then blah blah blah. But notice how she's trying. Right now, Candice got. She got. The young lady came with receipts that anybody can look up on, and she told you where to go get them too. All Candice had to do is say, I think she would have gotten more respect if she says, you know something, I really didn't know that, but that really didn't have to, I didn't think that had to do with the sexual revolution. It's like, well, you got to be alive to be in the sexual revolution, right? You can't be alive if dudes are putting you in the ground. And it's, again, let me make it clear, it's even amplified a lot more in our community. Here we go. Ooh, bars. Oh, man, she dropped. I mean, let me see what I can drop around here. I don't want to drop my phone, but that's the nearest thing to me. Bars.
That, just so I'm trying to understand your argument here.
No. You see why does Candice act this way? Candice, you got God. This is going to be a long ass night. I can tell this is going to be a long ass night. Candice, this is going to be a long ass night. You got some problems, Candice. She just dropped bars left and right. Yep. Angela, you nailed it, Angela. Black women are more than 40% of all DV victims in the United States. And remember now, we still got Caucasian women, Asian women, Latin women, other multiple race women, that kind of thing. Black women are 40%. And that's the reported amount. That's not the total amount. Candice, I think you need to give that one up. Oh, man. Henry, you nailed it. Henry, thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. That's definitely going on the next, Dusty by the Dozens, AKA, the Lion Kings. The Lion Kings. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Oh, she's right. She's right. Candice is wrong. The young lady is right. What Candice is getting, and this is just number one.
I still don't think it has anything to do with the claim that women are infinitely less happy because of the sexual revolution.
Oh, yes, they are. You can't be happy if you're getting hands and feet put on you. Come on now. I already brought it up. See, the thing is that she's using a man's point of view about marriage and all that kind of stuff. It benefited men because men can go out and cheat, come home and be incomplete, be in the streets, and the women would just have to deal with it. I didn't know it was all the way up until the 70s. Man.
I think you'd probably be less happy if you're being murdered.
Oh,
yeah, thank you, boss. Oh man, she is tearing Candice up. She is Candice. Candice, you already met your match, and we're only to the first person. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I can't really help you with this. You're gonna have to try to dig yourself out of this hole, Candice. But I don't know if you can do it. Ready, Black Magic is in the house. It's megaphone time. Here we go. I guess the red flag means you're lying.
Encouraging women to give up their goods for free, which is what I'm speaking about.
No, actually, it's not. What it means is they were giving up their goods for free when they had to either marry a man or be controlled by a man. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. All right, to the stage. Stop the cap. Man, I can't even.
Maybe I have to change my name.
Look. I can't even get to Jasmine yet. Listening to all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Hello, ladies in the chat. What's up, George? How you been?
Good. How about you?
I've been great, man. I want to say something. I find it quite interesting that she's doing this debate on the back of all of this rollback of women's rights.
Yep.
Like how long Candice been online?
At least what? I she was online before me. I can't really tell you. She was online before me.
So why all of a sudden now, when the rollback of women's rights, she's coming out wanting to debate feminists when this is one of her biggest grifts of her talking points.
Mm-hmm. My thing is like, well, the thing is this. I think if Candice had to choose between her husband or her career, she dropped dude before we got to the end of career.
And then why are they tying women's suffrage from 1813 into sexual revolution when sexual revolution men were involved too, the hippie era? Like it wasn't just women.
Right. Because it sounds derogatory, because it demeans women, and they want to tie in women with sexual revolution, even though, at least in our community, the men are 3 times as promiscuous as the women are.
Okay. So what year did the sexual revolution happen? 70 what? 75?
I guess all I know is this, is I just found out not too long ago. I was shocked that up to like 75 or something, a woman couldn't even have a bank account or something like that. I was like, what the living what? That can't be.
So right at the apex of sexual revolution, you had the AIDS epidemic. Who were all dying of AIDS?
Right.
Or HIV or the HIV? I'm sorry.
The HIV, dudes and the women that loved them.
It was mainly men.
Right.
Who were.
And the women that loved the men that didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
During a section. Why? I think that we should start. I'm kind of disappointed in the women who debated her because they wasn't giving
hold
her.
On. What do you? Did you change it into Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah.
Great
it wouldn't
movie.
let me. It wouldn't let me put Disney movies are fake. It wouldn't let me put that. So.
Okay. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying, like, if we bust out the receipts, right, we can pinpoint who was the major participants in sexual revolution.
Right.
You know, we had Hugh Hefner's came out. Pimping was glorified. Was pimping became syndication. We got the HIV epidemic, you know, swept through the United States. It's like why is all the blame on women?
Because
I have a theory, but
hit the theory. I want to hear it.
Okay, so Candice is a grifter, right? For money, and it's sprinkled with Bible. So if you look at Bible and misogynistic territories that the Bible scriptures have, it goes back to the Genesis, right? The garden story. I believe that all of this stems from the Garden of Eve story, where women cause the glory of human male kind to fall. And ever since then, they have been weaponizing their strength, which is their physical strength, against women.
Right.
So that's my theory, I think.
Okay, here we go.
The time
she's good. She's good.
In which people are getting married, how difficult it is for people to find a partner that's willing to commit to them. And I think that's in large part due to the fact that women are offering sex for free.
In layman terms, what Candice is actually saying, she's saying that because of sexual revolution, men have access to sex more relatively, right?
Right.
And she's basing women happiness on their proximity to men only.
Right.
So if a woman is not with a man, she's unhappy. And because she's not putting any responsibility on the head of the household, see, she couldn't have me on there because I am a Bible historian. I read scriptures, right? So you have to bring it back to her core beliefs is the Bible.
Right.
This is her motivation for shaming women is the Bible scripture. So if men are the head and the woman is under the man and the man answers to God, why are men not responsible for their sexual promiscuity?
Right.
She's saying basically men don't want to marry women because they have access to sex. So in turn, sex is the only motivation factor for a male to marry a woman.
Right. She's thinking like a man. Basically, Candice is thinking like a man would. She's thinking that men should naturally want a woman that is what would be the word? Is not independent.
It goes back to the purity. Remember the purity movements or you got a chastity movements. Remember those things?
Yep.
So where is the sin for the men? So basically, she's saying that men it's not sinful for men to have sex with multiple women. That's what she's saying.
Yes. Yes. Because if women think about it like this, and that's why I don't like it being called a sexual revolution or whatever, because quite honestly, it's really the non-sexual revolution. A woman is not being forced to have sex with her husband. Just because they're married doesn't mean, one, they're happy, or and two, that she wanted to have sex every time he wanted to have sex. Now a woman can choose to have her own jobs. And that's the problem, is that what these misogynist women and men are thinking is like, wow, now, women can control their own lives. All they need to do is just be good at a job, and they can have their own career and don't need to depend on a man. Back before that, before the revolution, which I would call the independence revolution, that's what I would call it, the independence revolution. A woman was forced to, number one, have sex with a man, married or not, okay, because they had to be controlled by a man. If they were going to because they can't put up, remember now, back then they cannot put a home on, they can't have an apartment by themselves, because back then you couldn't even have your own bank account. So if you can't have your own bank account, somebody would have to either slip you money or you were under the control of some man. So yeah, it's let me calm down. Let me calm. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Bars, pretty black. Candice says, Candice thinks like a racist, sexist, YT man. Actually,
you know what, George? If she was so
bars
concerned about the U.S. men and their ability to commit to U.S. women, why she didn't marry a man from the U.S.?
Bars. Exactly that. Exactly that. Hey, here we go.
You are going to be devaluing yourself.
You're worth less as a human being.
Not as a human being.
Actually, quite honestly, I think women are worth more when they're not married.
See, but then she's missing the mark, because her whole motivation for her theory is the Bible. That is her foundation, right? But if you read it, God made both.
Right. Right.
And if you read the Bible, it says he presented the woman to the male, not as a slave, but a gift. And what do you do with gifts that are valuable? Don't you cultivate it? You shine it up. You keep it nice and neat. Like, I still have gifts. You have a gift from people 10 years ago, Torch, that you admire and you love.
Yeah, I actually do.
You take good care of those things, right?
You sure do. I put them in a mantle or somewhere, keep them nice and clean.
You appreciate those gifts, right?
Exactly.
So from the conception of this world, we stick it to her foundation, the Bible. Women were a gift to men. When are men going to value their gift?
Never. I mean, the thing is I can only think about what's going on in our community. I mean, you know what I mean? I quite honestly, I'm going to be straight with you. From what I've seen and I've heard of married men, today, and these men, how they talk online, it's clear that if anybody's devaluing something, it's men in our community that devalue something, because they want women to be just basically sex dolls. Kevin Samuels, all of them fools. They just want women to be sex dolls. That's it. That's the feminine friendly part. That's where
in the male, you hit it on the nail. You said that if her husband told her to stop, she wouldn't. But her husband is a liberal. He's not from the U.S. Now, if she had that bread and butter white boy, American Brad,
right,
she would not be doing any of this, right?
Right. True. Because see, her man lets her lead. And that's why I was saying earlier in the live stream, I was saying that she and women like her, which is literally all the red pill women, right? All of them are not, they're all feminists. They're just evil feminists. And what I mean is that if their man told them to stop, they'd go tell all of them would tell them to kick rocks. I love getting this money from these poor broken men. I love this. I really believe that a lot of them are grifting.
But I also believe a lot of them, they love controlling men. And what a way to control men is to lie to them, make them think that they are more than they are, and have them come back to your channel every week, right? And give you money.
Well, that's what you describe is truly the Jezebel spirit. The Jezebel spirit has nothing to do with sex. She wanted power and control over men. She controlled Ahab.
Right.
AKA, we talking about her foundation. I'm not up here preaching to nobody.
Yeah, and Angela Reddick says men, especially black men, are still blaming women for all their problems. True, exactly that. That is what the red pill is all about. That's 90% of what the red pill is about, is blaming women for them being failures. That's why I will tell anybody black men, it's already dangerous for black women when it comes to dating black men. But the last black man you want to be around is a red pill black man, because they've already failed. Because it's kind of like when somebody goes to, instead of going to a Target, you go to Walmart. It's basically they've already unconsciously, when they go to a Kevin Samuels channel or they go to another Rip Hill channel, they've already given up, because, these guys, their live streams go for hours and hours and hours, right? Those are hours you could have been spending learning a new trade, focusing on being better educated, looking for a better job, a million different things, except for just complaining about women. And they try to claim that they don't complain about when we're here to build men. How is building men breaking down women building men? Because they have no other way to do it. Anyway, here we go.
Just,
I was on a panel with a guy. He said, well, how can you speak for men? These men all online always tell women we can't speak for men, right?
Right.
So as a man torch, is she telling the truth about men?
No. Candice is off.
Who gave her the authority to speak for men?
Because I'm telling you, that's how they all think. This is how they all of what we used to call them mammies, right? We can't anymore, right? But that's how they think. She thinks like a dude. She thinks like a dude, literally. In fact, this is going to sound crazy, because we know about Princella, right? She's more masculine than Princella is.
But the male urge for OnlyFans, the urge for this and urges for that, is basically because of women?
Well said. No, I mean, basically the thing is this. The reason why OnlyFans exists is because men, mostly non-white, I'm sorry to say it, non-other color than black, are simping for these people. How would they know if black men weren't simping for OnlyFans? How do they know it so well? Why do we know it so well? Because these guys come on here and go, oh, now this OnlyFans chick. Well, how did you find out about her? That's what I would say.
I would like to interview her husband. She got him under lock and key.
Yep. And you explain. Yep. Yep. Angela says the Jezebel spirit is a spirit that can even be harbored within men. Bars. A lot of these male 304s have that. Bars have that. The Jezebel spirit. Yep. And then Phoenix Soul says, damn, she's gorgeous. Yes, this young lady is gorgeous. Absolutely. She knows it too. Very pretty.
I would argue that what makes women actually happy is family. So
no, she just lied. She just lied. What makes a woman happy is not being hands and feeded. Number one, and see, she's talking like a dude. I'm telling you, Candice talks like a man.
But she's dismissing that woman childhood, growing up, her experiences as a human. Like she just
That's what men do.
I hope that this debate is going to share a light, and it's not going to take black women. It's going to be white women that's going to get on her ass.
if they haven't already.
No, they're going to get on her ass real big.
Let me see if I have that battle against her and Jasmine. That would probably be the best one to put up next. What did I do with that?
Because she's baking on the hope. I like I said before, black women, it's our hope that's going to be our detriment.
Right. Was Jasmine Crocket? Okay. I know I got.
We have more hope than attraction to these men. If you interview 1,000 black women that are married, they have more hope in their husband than attraction.
Right. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's play this joint right here. Here we go.
The gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity.
It began like any other high-stakes panel. Bright lights, 4 chairs, 3 cameras, and 1 moderator hoping to keep things civil. But by the time the credits rolled, nothing felt the same. What was supposed to be a routine debate about race, policy, and the future of America turned into something far bigger. Collision of 2 rising.
Okay, let me fast forward. Let's see.
As I said.
Let me go back. What is Candice? Is Candice Owens a senator or something? I don't remember. Why is she doing what's she doing in there? Oh, I bet they had her as a
collision of 2 rising titans. On one side, Candice Owens, sharp, articulate, and unapologetically conservative.
As I said, he is assuming that black people will not go pursue the full 2-hour clip. And he purposefully he cut off, and you didn't hear the question that was asked of me. He's trying to present as if I was launching a defense of Hitler in Germany.
On the other, Congresswoman Jasmine Crocket, composed, legally trained, and unafraid to speak uncomfortable truths. The moment they sat across from each other, you could feel it in the air. This wasn't just a debate. This was the debate, the one that would ripple far beyond that studio. It started civilly enough. The moderator opened with a softball. Do you believe the American system is broken or just misused? Candice took the bait first. The system, she said confidently, isn't broken. What's broken is the culture that teaches people victimhood instead of
say it. Let me see if they got another one that's actually.
You got to find the.
Let's see if this one is it. Yeah, I should.
Heart of Charlotte, North Carolina.
What I should look for is the actually PBS channel. That because these people.
He represents.
I don't like hearing those little that AI crap they be doing now. You hear this. Oh yeah, and Candice Owens. When the guy sounds like Candice Owens.
So let me remember. She got off that show. Wasn't that a predominantly owned white male show that fired her?
Yeah. They dumped her quick. Okay,
and then she went on this
with
whole
her calm
campaign
demeanor and race.
Yeah.
About male privilege.
Yeah. I don't know how or why she got fired, but she got fired, and how and why. Dang it. Okay, let me find that one. This might be it.
White privilege coming into the oversight committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
If the gentle lady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr. Chairman. Let's take a vote and hear from Hunter Biden. What are you afraid of?
Hold on.
Order.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Because you keep interrupting me.
I'll interrupt the
You keep
chairman. I don't
interrupting.
know that he's a lady.
I think that that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Our nation is founded on the rule of
Come
law.
on, come on.
And the premise
Come
that the
on.
law applies equally to everyone, no matter
Now,
what your life.
see, that's the funny thing is they got him good. I mean, if you wanted to hear Hunter Biden, shut the hell up and let him talk. But she doesn't want to hear Hunter Biden because she knows that even Hunter Biden, even drugged out, is going to sound better than she do.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Biggs over here.
Donald Trump Jr.
Biggs over here.
State your point, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, my point of order is this. Are we going to continue on with this blatant interruption? This is absurd and inappropriate. I intend to give my statement. I don't intend to have anybody interrupted. I'm not going to interrupt your statements. I think you should have decorum and courtesy and don't act like a bunch of nimrods.
You just interrupted a woman.
And that's 5, you know.
I got permission.
Can we agree? Everyone has
Mr.
5
Chairman,
minutes. Can we agree?
Point of order again. The assertion that I interrupted was absolutely false. That's typical of the gentleman who spoke it. I got permission to speak from the chairman. I spoke. I was interrupted yet again by the gentleman who doesn't choose to go through the chair and follow proper order. I encourage us. I think if we're going to have any respect at all, we need to have proper decorum.
Well said.
Okay, all right. So we love the Constitution today, and we also want to talk about foreign money coming in. Have y'all seen the report that was just produced where this chairman decided that he was going to block this committee from receiving additional information about y'all's guy, Trump, and all the money that he took? From what we did receive, we know that Trump got almost $6 million that we can account for, and we know that that's more, that there's more there. From China specifically, we found almost $8 million total that he accepted from foreign governments while he was serving as the president of these United States. But we're concerned about the president's son who has not been involved in his administration. I just want to run it back, though, to the very beginning, because this is something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's called, I mean, that was crazy.
Face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what white privilege looks like, especially from that side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. So let me tell you something. Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something. You see, you want to talk about a two-tier justice system, and this is the only time that y'all have ever referenced it, when this country has a history when it comes to black and brown folk of having two separate sets of rules. And right now, what you want to do is have two separate sets of rules because Mr. Moskowitz offered y'all a fair situation. He said he would vote for Hunter to be held in contempt if y'all voted to hold all, even if you remove all of the members of Congress. There's still other people that y'all haven't decided that y'all have excuses for, but y'all don't want to hold them in contempt. But for some reason, it makes sense to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, who has tried to comply. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. And every single hearing, y'all spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now, because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to.
She can really, she knows how to roast. Let's put it that way. She knows how to roast, but keep it legal.
Spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say. Let me remind you, for those of you that don't know how the justice system works, it's not a matter of the president went in and indicted Trump, but we are talking about grand juries. Grand juries are comprised of American citizens, and the people that have entered pleas of guilty that will be flipping on your leader in a minute, they are Republicans. I do want to point that out. And half of them were Republicans that were handpicked by Donald Trump himself. So to be clear, whatever happens to your little leader, it's going to be because of the actions that he took. So you can talk all you want to about how January 6th was nonsense, but all of y'all were running at that time. Y'all were grabbing y'all's gas masks and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to address briefly.
Well said. Well said. Let me go to the next clip. I couldn't find the clip I wanted, but I will put it on the next show. So what do you think about that exchange?
My thoughts is that we need to galvanize each other and try to give importance on local elections, because what we see with the rollback of women's rights, Roe v. versus Wade, all of these social civil rights rollbacks, affirmative action rollback, that's not national. It was congressional, meaning local elections. I think as a American people, we're so caught up in the gratification of big things. You know, it's all go big or go home mentality. Right. And we need to simplify things, just like this man and woman. It's so simple that it's confusing.
Right.
You know, and I think that we should, as Black women, if we want to see some change in this country, we should start galvanizing each other, other nations of people, and start doing our research. We can research everything else. We know who Cardi B effing her. We know Nelly is an absent father. We know, you know, all the Diddy trial. We out here, you know, buying up the baby oil, going in Times Square and rubbing it on each other and being stupid. But if we want to see some change, I think it's going to start with local elections and you know.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. They think that just as a sidebar. Yeah, they really think Diddy won, but I'll tell you one thing: winter's coming for Diddy. Winter is coming for Diddy. They're thinking about overturning the you know, the thing. I mean, and that doesn't mean overturning and he goes free. Overturn, there's like we're gonna back to the drawing board.
I think they say he won because how much is he worth? How much you think he's going to be worth after his 5-year sentence?
It depends on how many people come looking for him. A lot of people come and going to line up. Because
is he going to lose his businesses? He's not going to lose his money like that.
I agree with you. I don't think he's going to lose everything, but I could think he's going to lose enough that he's not going to be who he was before. That's for sure.
But when they said to control Black people, you show them money. So this is why they think he won, because of the money. Go big or go home.
Mm-hmm.
So it questions like, are the Black people the biggest sellouts of human history?
That's a strong argument. That's a really strong argument, because when you think about it, that's the only way. Yeah, that's a strong. That's a good point, because think about it.
You ain't got no words, huh?
No words. It's like that's. You caught me off guard with that, because it's like, wow, that's freaking true, because you think about it, and I'm not talking about just sellouts as far as like, that they're bowing to the white dude or whatever like that.
No, you know
goes
what
further
the
than
nuance
that.
I mean. You know the nuance I mean by the
Right.
biggest sellout in human history.
Yeah. I mean, how much more of a sellout also on top of that, how much more is a sellout when you'd rather fight amongst each other and destroy each other than trying to fight for or compete for employment or something else. There are more black men getting into beefs with each other than there are black men trying to compete and win that job, i.e. career. That's the problem.
Then it makes you go back in the archives and really open your mind and think about all these movements.
Right.
What's the motivation and factor? I'm talking about the Martin Luther Kings, the Black Panthers, the Malcolm X's, the Marcus Garveys, and so on.
Yep. Very true.
Makes you wonder, makes you think.
Let's see what old Joe Rogan has to say. Wait, no, I'm gonna skip him for now. One more.
What they saying in the chat? What they saying in the chat?
Oh, yeah, they just chilling right now.
Y'all need to wake up. Y'all, y'all better wake up. I suggest you guys look what happened in Texas. I suggest you guys prepare. Get you some generators, some storage.
Good point. Let me bring that up right now. Hold on.
Devastating out there, man.
104 people are dead in Texas, including 56 adults and 28 children in Kerr County. Dozens are still missing as flooding continues, and now lawmakers are demanding answers as questions grow over how this happened with such little warning. NBC's Ryan Chandler is along the Guadalupe riverbanks with more.
No, I mean, bottom line is that they wanted the politicians didn't want to spend no money. That's how it happened.
Men had no idea that death and destruction was coming downriver.
This was something that happened that no one was prepared for.
As the urgent search continues, question.
Right, who's in charge of being prepared for it?
What president was trying to do this infrastructure bill, and they kept shooting it down? What president was that?
Yeah,
was it Obama?
I think so. Yeah.
So this is to let you guys know that these cities are corroding. This is a dam issue.
But yeah, they want to give them taxes to those rich folk, though. That's what they want to do. Let's see a little bit more.
And calls for accountability grow about how many in this community were caught by such surprise.
Well, I mean,
rest assured,
it happened. The funny thing is this: they're acting all dumbfounded and confused when this exact same thing happened with the exact same dude in office. So I don't see how they can be dumbfounded. You guys chose, to me, when you chose who you chose this to happen to you.
I think the last infrastructure bill that passed was when Eisenhower was president.
Yeah. Yep, they chose this to happen to them. They chose to get all sick during the pandemic too. Because the same dude they voted for ousted everybody out of China right when that shit started. Instead of them being there to warn us or to at least maybe help alleviate it, he fired them folks. Yeah. I mean, at least own it. That's all I'm saying. They want to still vote for him. That's fine. They still want like some more January 6th. That's fine. I mean, that's what y'all can do. But at least own the shit.
That term, if it ain't broke, don't fix. Texas got that problem.
Yeah. But it's always broken though. That's
Remember when it froze? When they didn't want to fix the what was that froze?
Probably some damn pipes.
But it was like major. It was a major infrastructure for Texas.
That turned off all the power and stuff.
Yes, right? yes.
Oh,
so Texas, Texas needs to be studied.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing: isn't Texas like one of the richest, states? I mean, what the hell?
What else did they have? They had, what was that other city that flooded out? They've been having a lot of issues with their infrastructure that nobody's really want to say.
Right. And there's never been a Democrat in Texas, or barely.
No.
So there's a result. And
All
see,
these
that's
people
what it
talking,
is.
but nobody's saying the fact that this infrastructure in Texas is corroded.
Yeah. For a rich, and it's one thing if you're struggling, right? But that's one of the richest states, in the U.S. And for that to happen.
Don't forget the HIV, Pan. The HIV rises out there too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Crime ain't all that good either.
Something going on in Texas, man.
Yeah. But for being the richest, for being one of the richest states, they getting their ass whooped. Let me play a little bit more of this.
No one knew this kind of flood was coming. Many questioning why neighborhoods.
And then whose fault is that nobody knew that kind of flood was coming? Because they probably fired all those people who would have known that flood was coming.
But so what river flooded?
I have no clue. That I have no clue. I would say there's probably more than one. But think about it. I guarantee you they probably fired the people. They were probably some free hugging liberals they fired that would have known the flood was coming.
I knew the dam was fragile.
Yeah.
Because there was a big flood. I think it was in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that at? And that's when they started building all these dams.
Yep.
It destroyed like multiple cities, and so they started building all these dams and stuff like that. So who's in charge of like keeping stuff like that together?
Really, it's the governor's responsibility. And the people under him or whoever runs it.
Then camps along the Guadalupe River were not told to evacuate earlier.
Very tough to make those calls because what we also don't want to do is cry wolf.
I can't mystic.
Cry wolf.
Yeah, they just talking out there. They're just talking. Like,
man, that's, it's at least at the very least, you may not cry wolf, but you might cry Rottweiler, like, hey, maybe, y'all might want to look out for this. This is maybe not a good day to go fishing. You know what I mean?
They mixing apples and oranges. Like, tornadoes have this system, flash flooding. You know how fast that water was moving, Torch?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet it was moving fast. Hella fast. Oh, well. Rich, filthy rich Texas.
The Texas lieutenant governor says campers were awakened only by thunder and lightning. Phones not allowed by camp rules. He's now pushing for state lawmakers to fund more outdoor warning sirens.
We shouldn't have lightning and thunder waking up kids. We should have those sirens. We need to go back step by step, and look at what happened and why it happened.
The National Weather Service says a flood watch at 1:18 p.m. Thursday was elevated on Friday at 1:14 a.m. to urgent flash flood warnings for Kerr County, sending emergency alerts to cell phones and weather radios. Then at 4:03 a.m., an upgrade to a flash flood emergency. But for so many, those warnings.
Wait, is that house floating down?
Yeah, it destroyed highways, Torch.
Holy moly.
Some of the highways were destroyed. That's why they couldn't get out.
Wasn't he the guy who was running? Wasn't this dude the same dude who was running Texas last disaster?
Yeah. Incompetent.
I mean, congratulations, sir. Yeah, and what I remember last time he was out of town too. He was on vacation too.
1 a.m. and 4 a.m. are asleep. And so I think we will have a reasonable conversation about are there any ways to have earlier detection?
Senator Ted Cruz.
I guarantee you, he fired those people who probably told him we need to have earlier detection. I guarantee you. I guarantee it.
How about maintenance of these dams, because these dams is holding this river away from the cities.
Yep.
Banks, something broke.
I want to bring up something that somebody in my what do you call it? Post. And it's a very good question. They said this. This person said this. I don't want to put their name out there. They may not want it out there.
You better go. You got the email up. You know, you got the hate watchers.
It's not an email. It says DJ Torch and friends. How's Kamala muted? And I was saying Kamala was muted. Kamala Harris was muted because if you notice, he really doesn't have the impact or an influence that you can really hit and feel. I mean, she's not really, on the being interviewed a lot anymore, and she's really not really like in the mix. Nobody's talking about her. And he says, last I checked, she was named the leader of the Democratic Party, ironically, by skipping the meritocratic process. And one point, and I told her it's because somebody like Jasmine is cool, but he said something else. Hold on one second. That was what he said today that really piqued my interest. Hold on one second. Then I'll let you answer, and then we out. Okay, let me see here. Hold on one second. Some more replies. Okay, there's that one.
Man, towards your age is showing.
I know. My eyes are bad.
Get it together, Torch. Get it together, man.
Okay, this is what he said. He asked something about if younger how, because the Democratic Party, he said something about the Democratic Party was going to try to get younger men to vote or get younger men into the political mix. And so what do you, and he was wondering whether Jasmine would be maybe a part of that mix. Why is his message missing?
You know what? I think if Jasmine, if she sharpens her her engagement with people, she will have the backing of a lot of people. She has to. I think she can run.
Yeah, the only thing is that she's so new to the mix. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I know for a fact she would strengthen.
Obama came out of nowhere, so.
Yeah, he did. He did, but he was a little bit older, and and you know how these people are about women, including women, are about women. And my answer to that would be, it wouldn't be at least I believe he's talking about younger men in our community, and I just don't see that happening because really, quite honestly, a lot of the men in our community, they're quite anti-woman unless you're just submissive. And the fact that Jasmine is more coming from a vibe of power, right? They haven't responded well to that. Remember when Black men were asking Kamala for child support forgiveness and all that kind of stuff? When Trump got into office, when Trump got in office, I didn't hear peep from those dudes.
They wasn't asking for economics, right?
Right. That's the funny part. They was all being all demanding and saying, "Oh, you haven't earned our vote to Kamala." They didn't say that.
They presented.
They didn't say
child
shit
support.
To Trump. They didn't say shit to Trump. They just got obedient and submissive to Trump. Oh yeah, we don't care about I
think she should run for like either a governor and change a whole state.
Right.
She got to prove herself.
Yeah, that's the only issue I see with her is that she's so new.
Mm-hmm. Let me get rid I think she should run for like a state governor or somewhere.
Yeah. Let me bring it back to the guy who destroyed Texas. Right there. He destroyed Texas single-handedly. Remember now, there's no reason for him to be behind the 8 ball because he's been there so long. You see what I'm saying? He should know every river that's going to lift.
Have you looked up Kirk County, the geographics of Kirk, like demographics?
No.
I think you should in the next live to see who lived there because a lot of people is not talking about it.
True. Oh yeah, they're gonna try to just make this to seem like oh well. You see what I'm
just
saying?
a natural disaster.
You're right. Oh well, too bad. So what if we have these every year? You know what I mean? If you ain't freezing, you're drowning. Take your pick.
But for those people that lost their lives, those children, I think people should stand up for what's right. That's the problem. That's the problem with the Black community. I feel they don't want to stand up for things that's right.
Right.
If it has nothing to do with them, like this has everything to do with you. Because if it happened to your city,
yep,
you'll be screaming white supremacy.
Exactly. Kevin in the house. Yep. But that's basically he failed. They should be ousting him, but you notice how they're just acting like, I don't know how this caught us by surprise. I don't know how it happened because you guys let it happen.
Just based on those children alone, the whole state of Texas should, galvanize to come together and impeach him.
Yep. Get him out. He can't seem to handle nature well.
But
you know
that's right. There's no propaganda. There's no race hustle involved.
Right. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today.
Oh, did you hear about that young man at the track meet?
No, what happened?
You haven't been following that? Oh, Torch, you behind the 8 ball, Torch. Come on now, Torch.
Actually, there's a very good reason why I've been behind an 8 ball, but no, I mean, no, I haven't heard. What happened?
That trial is going to be bigger than Diddy. I'm calling it now.
Dang. The track meet?
Yeah, that trial. All of America is going to be watching it, and they're going to show it on TV. I'm calling it. I'm predicting it now.
Okay, is this the one where the guy stabbed the other guy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so I'm not too far behind the 8 ball. But no, I'm behind the 8 ball in regards to the intensity of it. I didn't know it was going to be like that. You're right though. It could be real big.
They're going to put a camera in there. It's going to be the highest grossing television of the year.
Okay, you know something? I'm gonna have to do some digging. Yeah.
It's going to further divide the country. Like this alone should divide Texas right now over those children.
Right. Yep. They don't care. No, not a bit. They'll just call it a natural disaster, like the other ones. Oh, we didn't know it was coming. 4 years later.
Children lives matter.
Yeah. Oh, no, hashtag. Oh, we didn't know this was going to happen. Oh, it was a surprise. Hashtag. Oops, we missed one.
Because I'm curious to know how poor this town was.
Yeah, that's a trip. That is a trip. They don't care. They're just trying. They definitely have the idea to just be confused.
So why Trump didn't come out there and like he did in California?
He doesn't care. All right, everybody. This is DJ Torch on here, on screen with Stop the Cap. And I'd like to get a shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me stop start with obviously, you know, her name is not Stop the Count. It's Cyber Dreams. Cyber Dreams, please give her a hand of applause for coming to the stage. Also in the chat, I'd like to thank Tevin for making the last minute stop. Pretty Black Magic was in the mix. Y'all got to go to her damn channel.
She ain't been doing nothing.
She's back. She's
She
back.
better be back.
Yeah, no. Dude.
What's wrong with you, Pretty Black?
Phoenix Soul in the house.
I like what
Angela
you say.
Reddick.
These niggas.
Henry Mars is in the mix. And Betterment was in the house as well. Everybody, have a good night.
All right, Torch.
Things I got to do. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody, this is DJ Torch. And I'm hitting the end button.